Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande starred together in Wicked. Two of the most talented women in entertainment, sharing a screen, sharing press tours, sharing that iconic green and pink aesthetic everywhere they went. The world watched them and thought, wow, this is a real friendship. A real bond. They held hands at premieres. They cried talking about each other in interviews. Ariana called Cynthia her safe person. Cynthia talked about Ariana like she was family. And the public ate it up. Of course they did. It was beautiful. It felt real. But here's the thing about things that feel real. Sometimes they're the most carefully constructed illusions of all. Because now, someone who was right there in the middle of all of it is starting to pull back the curtain. And what's behind it? Nobody was ready for this. Cynthia Erivo has been in a relationship with Amber Lane, and those close to Cynthia's circle have started talking. Not in the loud, messy way. In the quiet, specific, I was there kind of way that is actually so much more dangerous than any loud accusation. The conversations coming out now suggest that what the public saw between Cynthia and Ariana on those press tours, that warmth, that closeness, that emotional intimacy was heavily shaped by what the production needed, what the press machine needed, what the narrative needed. Think about that for a second. When two stars are promoting a massive $100 million film, one of the most anticipated movies in years, the studio doesn't just let things happen organically. Every interview is managed. Every red carpet moment is discussed. Every hug, every emotional story, every tear, there are people behind the scenes deciding what story gets told. And the story they chose to tell was, Ariana and Cynthia are inseparable soulmates. But those close to Cynthia are now raising a very uncomfortable question. Was Ariana actually as invested in that friendship as she performed? Or was some of what audiences saw a performance? Here's where it gets complicated. And I want you to pay close attention because this is the part people keep skipping over. While Ariana Grande was on press tours holding Cynthia's hand and talking about how much she loved her, Ariana's real personal life was somewhere else entirely. She had separated from Dalton Gomez. She was quietly building something with Ethan Slater, her co-star from Wicked. That relationship, the one she was actually living and breathing every single day, was being kept extremely private. So what does that mean? It means while Ariana was performing closeness with Cynthia for the cameras, crying, laughing, being vulnerable, her actual emotional world was with someone she wasn't ready to publicly claim yet. And here's the question Cynthia's circle is now asking out loud. Did Cynthia know the full picture? Or was she also, in some way, being used as part of a narrative that made Ariana look like she was in this warm, beautiful, platonic love story, while the real story was happening somewhere the cameras couldn't see? That is not a small question. That is a deeply personal one. Because if you genuinely love someone, genuinely call them your person, genuinely show up for them, and then you find out that some of that was curated, that hurts in a way that's hard to put into words. After the press tour ended, something subtle happened. The constant stream of Ariana and Cynthia content slowed down. The interviews where they gushed about each other became less frequent. The public moments of connection started to fade. Now, that could mean nothing. Press tours end. People get busy. Life moves on. But when you add that silence to everything else that's coming out now, it starts to feel like something different. It starts to feel like distance. It starts to feel like two people who served a purpose for each other in a specific season, and when that season ended, so did a big part of what connected them. And Cynthia, by all accounts, is someone who values authenticity above almost everything else. She has spoken about it in her own words, in her own way many times. She does not do surface level. She does not do performance as connection. So imagine being that person. Imagine pouring yourself into what you believed was a genuine bond, and then watching the other person's attention drift the moment the cameras stopped rolling. The people around Cynthia are not being loud about this. They are being precise. And sometimes precision is louder than volume. Let's zoom out for a second because this story is actually about something bigger than two celebrities. Hollywood has always sold us relationships. Not just romantic ones, friendships, partnerships, bonds between co-stars. And the machine is extraordinarily good at making those relationships feel real because it needs you to care. If you care about the people, you buy the ticket. You stream the movie. You follow the press tour. You invest. But the people inside that machine? They are navigating something genuinely complicated. Because some of those connections are real. And some of them are built for the moment. And sometimes even the people inside it don't fully know which category they're in until it's over. That appears to be what Cynthia is processing right now. Not with anger, but with the quiet clarity that comes when something you thought was one thing reveals itself to be something else. And Ariana? She is in her own world right now. She has Ethan. She has her music. She is moving forward with her life in the direction she chose. But choices leave traces. And the people you left behind, or the people who feel left behind, eventually find their voice.